Discord. Okay, so now what we want to do, we've able to create, we're able to read. Let's update. So if I go back to localhost, refresh, if I click on any of these cars, it takes me to the show page. So what I want to be able to do is click on this here, and it should take me to a new form that will allow me to edit this car, right? So how do I do that? Where is this view?
It'd be show, right?
Show. So if we go into show, right now I just have a placeholder in there. So we need to put the route in here that is going to display the form we're going to use to edit a car. Okay, so it's going to be what they use is cars edit, and I think they do it two ways. They do it with the index or the ID in between and the ID at the end. Either one I think is fine. Okay, so I need a route that is going to render the edit form when I click on this button, right? So if I go back to my page, click edit. So I need that route.
Do you need the $ curly on?
Oh, I probably do. I missed that. I forget that
The what do you call
on the show.
show?
Yep. No. Yes. I'm thinking of the wrong thing. Dollar curlies. Thank you so much. This will be car.id. Sorry about that. Okay, so now let's try it again. So now if I hover over edit, now that's taking me to the right place. Cool. So now I need this route. I need cars /edit / the ID of the car. So I'm going to go to my controller, and here I'm going to make the route that is going to display the form. So is this a get or a post? Get.
Get, yeah.
Okay. And my route is /cars /edit / ID. I was putting this in the other form. Okay, so now let's go public string edit. And we're going to return. What are we going to return?
Edit.jsp.
Edit.jsp. Cool. So
Path variable, right?
path.
Or
yes, thank you. Yeah, so we need the path variable. Almost forgot that. Path variable is ID. It is a long and an ID. And let's just test that out, make sure it works out. ID. Edit. Cool.
like a charm.
Like a charm. Perfect. So, but the error we're getting is it doesn't know what I'm talking about when I say edit.jsp. So we need to make that. Now, the new and the edit forms, just like in Python, they're pretty much identical, right? So instead of reinventing the wheel, I hope you'll indulge me. I'm going to take my new, copy it, paste it, and rename it to edit. Edit.jsp. Okay. So now let's go try that out. Refresh. Edit. Oh, okay. So neither binding result nor blah, 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 blah for being named car. Okay, so this is a kind of one of the more tricky errors you're going to get. And we saw this earlier. Braxton, we had this, right? What's going on?
We're not passing in anything for the car.
Yeah,
'Cause
we
I
got to
think we're
pass in a
calling
car,
that,
right?
right?
So when I copied and pasted like a lazy programmer, I've got my form set up and they're both expecting a attribute, right? They're both expecting a car. Okay. So what I want is to send that down, right? So should I use, well, you may not know. Well, I'll ask. Should I use model attribute to pass this down? Or should I use just the model?
Good question.
Yeah. Let's try both. So let's go back to the controller and let's just try the model attribute. So I've got my path variable. Let's do model attribute. It's a car and it's a car. All right. So I forgot, I think I need a comma here. Yeah. So I'm going to go and you guys have the old form. I'm going to take it out of this edit page. So I'm going to take the old one out. So it's driving me crazy that I can't copy and highlight. Okay. And let's change this to edit a car. Okay. Refresh. And there we go. Editing a car. And let's go back to the controller. So now, which car do we want to edit?
The one we passed through, the ID
Yeah.
that we passed through, right? So we're gonna
We
have
want to edit
grab
car
that.
number 9, right? So how do we get car number 9?
Gonna have to create a new service.
Yeah. So the method I wish I had in my service would look like this. It's going to give me a car. So I'm going to set up my car variable and I'm going to be able to say car service dot I'm afraid to use that. Get car. Why is that populating? I'm going to call it something else because I don't know why that's populating. So get car, just say get car. Unless, is it already there? Oh, I do already have it. There it is. Okay. All right. Yeah. So I've already got that. I've already got it.
That's easy.
Yeah, that was easy. So let's just use it. Get car by ID. So just so I don't look like a total idiot, I was practicing this over the break. So I thought I had something in here that I didn't mean to show you guys. So anyway, now we have a car. How do I get the car? How do I get this car to my form?
You got a model.add attribute, right?
Well, I got it here, but this is it's not populating my form, right? And actually, undefined local variable car.
Let's duplicate local variable car.
Duplicate, thank you. Let's change this to CC car. There we go. Yeah, so it's not populating here. So we pretty much need to put our car in the model, right? We got to send it to this form. So instead of using model attribute, let's just use the model. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because now you can just go model.add attribute, right?
There you go. Yeah. So now I can do model.add attribute. Call it car. Don't forget the semicolon. Now if I go to edit a car, it populates my form. Okay, you ready with me?
This is the next part's what I'm caught up on.
Okay. Let's hope I don't get caught up. All right. So now I want to edit this car. I don't want to create another one, right? So if I want to change something and not make something that's new, what sort of HTTP verb do I want to use? So we've been using post, but I don't want to post because that's going to make a brand new version of whatever I change in this car, right? So if I change it to a whatever, it's just going to make another one. I'm sorry, say again? Put, exactly. So we need, when we write our method that's going to handle this form, I need to make it a put mapping. Okay. And we can just say cars, right? Is that what I have as the action? I don't remember. Yeah, cars. Cool. So let's finish up that method. Car controller. So let's say public string update. And cool. Ultimately, we are going to return redirect, DIR to the root. Is that where we want to go? I think so. Because we want to, basically we want to edit the car and have it take us back to, well, I guess we could, yeah, make it easy and just go here. Go to the, uh-oh. What did I do? I crashed something. Oh, good. I fixed it. Okay, cool. So I want to be able to go in, edit my Ranger. Instead of a 2004, I want it to be a 2003. Right? Whoa. Okay. What happened? What did I do? I'll do it again. I did it kind of fast. Let me edit. 2022. I'm making Rangers, right? I don't want to do this.
Oh, you're creating new ones each time.
Yeah, I'm creating a new Ranger every time, but I wanted to edit this one, right? But I'm making new ones every time. Why is that happening?
Are you?
ID.
Yeah, the ID. I was gonna say you're not passing the ID.
I'm not passing the ID.
And Christian's nodding his head, so I feel like I'm right.
Good. Yep. Yep. Yep.
I'll take it.
So we need cars ID. Yeah. Path variable. Yeah. Is that what you guys are talking about?
I mean, you could do it as a path variable. You could do it as a hidden input. You just got to pass it somehow, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Lots of ways to do it.
Yeah, okay. So it's going to keep doing that. So let's finish this. Let's finish this method. So how do we get the car from the form? So we're using model attribute.
The parameter thing.
I'm sorry, say again.
Parameter or something, whatever that was.
I'm thinking I'm just going to use the model attribute. And it's going to be a car car. Let's just see if this works. So let's just S out car. What did I do? Oh, double quotes. Cool. So if I go to, what happened to my edit button? Oh, it's in the show page, duh. There we go. Okay, so it's getting the car. That's good. So how do I... Actually, that's printing somewhere else. I think. I can't tell now. I'm lost. Where's my create? Am I printing in create? Yeah. Where's my other post? Okay. Show. Edit. 20. Okay. So I'm still making a new car every time, right? Still making a new Ranger. Is this the problem you're having, Braxton?
No, it's just crashing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just crashing. All right, so let's try to fix this. So when I go to edit a car, it's, hold on, I think I know what I'm doing. Edit is going to cars. So create cars, there it is. So it's hitting this route, right? Does everybody see that?
How though?
What do you mean how? Well, okay, so let me S out. Let me just make sure. We'll probably just do that one, but that's all right. Edit. Just a 1. So it's hitting this route. How do I get it to hit this one?
Just change the form, right?
Exactly. Change what on the form?
The action.
Yeah. Yeah. So I go, let me save this. Go into edit. And instead of going to cars, we want to go to cars / the ID of the car, right? And I need money hugs here, right? Dollar curlies, car.id.
One thing I mentioned in the chat is we don't really need to pass the ID through the URL if you're using the model attribute, since it already has the ID as part of it.
Yeah, but I was leading up to the hidden input part and I was confusing myself. All right, so now I think I'm good. So let's go back to try to edit this. Change the year. I think they had Rangers in 75. That's what I was looking for. Post is not supported. But it's going to cars 15. Post is not supported. So why is it saying post is not supported?
Is there a method post on your?
Yeah.
It's
So I'm posting.
aren't you doing put or something?
Yeah. Yeah. So we want to do put. So the way put works, essentially, there are HTTP verbs. There's a lot of them, right? There's more than just, there's like get, post, but there's also put, patch, delete, update. There's a slew of HTTP verbs. But a browser doesn't, all it knows is get and post. So in order to get this form to put, we need to add a hidden field that tells it to kind of as a workaround to get it to put instead of post. Okay, so I'm going to add input hidden. The name is underscore method. And the value is what we're trying to do, which is put. Okay. So again, just as a worker, we leave this as post because that's all that the browser understands. And we do the override using this input with the underscore method. Okay. So now if I go back, refresh, try it again. So now I think we're not making a new one. Let me just make sure. Yep, cool. So now it's going where I want it to go. It's hitting this update method. And let's just make sure. I got to build myself up. Okay, so if I go back, refresh, show, edit, whatever else. There we go. So now we're hitting the right route. Cool. Sorry, that was a little, this is what happens when I don't practice. All right, any questions? So how do we get it to update?
Got some work to do inside the
Yeah.
the server. Or the
Exactly.
server
That's
side.
inside the controller, right? So instead of printing all this stuff, let me get rid of it. So once we get the car, we want to process it, right? So what I wish I had was a method in my service. So car service dot update car. And I want to just be able to pass in the car I get, right? So again, I write the method I want, click the let Visual Studio Code write it for me. Now when I go into my service, I need to update the car. Okay, so who does the service talk to?
Repo.
The repo, cool. So inside the update car, we say car repository dot what? Save car. Cool. Okay, let's try it out. So I've got a lot of Rangers here. So let's do this one. Edit, change the year back to something that makes sense. And it works.
All right.
Can just put method put on the form tag?
Yeah, if you're using form, the only reason you have to do the hidden input manually is if you're not using form, like the form. If you're doing your form manually, then you have to do the hidden input manually. But if you're using form, just put method put, and it'll work.
I'll be damned. Let's try that out. So do I still need the hidden input if I have?
No, it'll do that for you. So you just get rid of the hidden input and just put method put. And then when it generates your template, it'll put in the, like in your browser, the hidden input will be there. You just don't have to put it yourself.
Hmm. Yeah, cool. I thought you had to do it. I learned something new. Yeah, I thought you had to do it the other way. I thought that was required. Sweet. So do it this way. This is easier. So yeah, just cool. Yeah, change the method to put.
But everything you said about the browser doesn't understand put and delete, that's still true, right? The hidden
Yeah.
input's still being made. It's just doing it for you.
Spring
behind the
Boot's doing
scenes.
it for us. So if I go to my form, edit, and if I inspect, so if I inspect, it's going to have a hidden input.
Mhm.
That is so cool. All right, cool. Any questions?
Yeah, could you go back to the controller just real quick?
Yeah, totally. So car controller.
Okay, and then when you go to the car service, the update car.
Mhm.
All right, yeah, that's simple. I made that a little bit more complicated than I needed.
Cool. Not cool that you made it more complicated, but I'm glad I was able to help.
There's definitely multiple ways you can do this, but this is going to be the easy way to do it,
Yeah.
right? Because again,
Definitely.
like we didn't need to pass the ID through the URL,
Mhm.
but if you didn't use the model attribute, you would need to pass that ID through the URL, and then you'd also have to do the query attributes for all of the different fields. And then you'll have to make an empty car model, and then you'd have to do the setters to populate all the fields and then save it, right? Like there's other ways to do it that are more work. This is just the way that requires the least amount of work.
So if I have two routes that are go to /car, right? Where's the other one? So I have post going to /cars. If I can take off this ID, right? Because it's not being used at all. And as long as this is a put, will it work? You know what I mean? So if I go back to my edit, change the action to just cars, will it know to go to that put route?
I'm not sure.
I'm
honestly.
not sure either. I'm actually asking. I don't know.
I wasn't sure if you were. Yes, it will work.
Okay, cool. So let's try that out. That actually I think would probably be simpler than what I do. I mean, which if that other way makes sense too, that's fine. But since we have a put method here, we have technically the routes are distinct, right? If we look at our routes, we have two /cars routes, but one of them's a put and one of them's a post. Okay, does that make sense? So now it should work the same. If I go back, let me refresh. It makes me nervous if I don't go there. So edit, let's change this to 2001. I forget which one I edited. Okay, I think I broke it. 16, edit. Yeah, it's adding them. Never mind.
It should work.
Should, right?
Yeah, that should work. Let's see. So you've got. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the index is based on the URL and the method.
Mhm.
So they have to both match to be considered a match. That's why you get that error sometimes where it says, doesn't accept
Mhm.
post, right? When
Right.
it's supposed to be a put, right? Because they're treated as different routes.
Let me just try this. Just try to start and stop.
Yeah, you might have to just restart it.
Because I'm thinking this should work.
I've definitely done this in a
Yeah,
project.
yeah.
and it's
I remember
worked.
doing it too. So okay, so I have 17 cars right now. I'm going to edit number 17. No.
Huh. Have to look at that.
Yeah, I'll figure out what's going on. So forget the last last 7 minutes. Maybe I can edit it out. So let's change it back to what's working. So I'll figure out, and I'm sure Christian will probably figure it out before I do. I go back to my controller. I'm going to change this back. That way we definitely have two distinct routes. So I'm going to put the ID back, cars/ID. And the ID still will be the ID is going to be set on the form action. So in here, I'm going to put this back, / dollar curly's car.id. And now it should work again. So I have 18 cars. I'm going to edit this one. I'm getting older and older. Cool. We have 1985. Cool. So let's stick with that until I can figure out what's going on with the routes. Cool.
I'm sorry, man. One more question.
No worry. No, please. I'm just happy
Um,
you're talking to me. It makes it easier for me.
Is there validations on that?
There is not. There's not. And I'm going to do validations, but I feel like I've thrown a lot at you. So we'll do validations in the morning.
Okay.
Is that cool? If
Yeah,
you have
yeah,
questions
fine.
about validations, I can absolutely do it. But I kind of want to stop here
Yeah,
just
yeah,
to
I get it.
not overwhelm people. Cool. All right. So let me stop sharing. I don't want to stop sharing. I want to stop recording. That one. Showing the right thing? Yeah. Okay. So for tomorrow, we did edit, and actually delete's not too bad, but read up on validations tonight. Okay. So remember, ideally, this shouldn't be the first time you're seeing this stuff, right? When I'm doing this, and this should be a review basically, and you should be clearing up questions. So try to front load your information, read up on validations. So we're going to add this @valid annotation. We're going to be adding the binding results and all that stuff. So read up on that tomorrow, and we'll go into depth about validations, and we'll delete a car. All right. I'm going to stop there.